France's newly elected assembly members ran a gauntlet of journalists as they arrived to start their new jobs. But there were few definitive answers to questions about what the new government will look like or when it'll take shape.
I think there'll be a period of a transitional government where immediate concerns will be managed by the ministers already in place. That's especially for the Olympic Games. After that, it will take as long as it takes. You shouldn't be in a hurry when it comes to democracy.
Party leaders will now start negotiations to see if a governing coalition can be formed. The surprise winners are the left-wing alliance, the New Popular Front, with the largest number of seats, but well short of a majority. It's fractious, made up of parties from the far left to centre-left. It wants to repeal the rise in the retirement age and increase the minimum wage.
We have the responsibility at the New Popular Front to not disappoint the French people. We must hear the anger, the disappointment, but also the mistrust of a certain number of voters, those who did not come to the polls, including those who cast their vote for the far right.
Gabriel Attal will stay on as Prime Minister for now. President Emmanuel Macron turned down his offer to resign. The left-wing alliance will be tested by who they want to succeed Attal as Prime Minister. Leader of the far left, France Unbowed, Jean-Luc Mélenchon, has his eye on that prize. But many on the centre-left would find that unacceptable.
One of the leaders of the left, François Ruffin, said it perfectly well. He said, the French gave us another chance, which means that if there is no improvement in the political climate in the next few months, then it will be Marine Le Pen's winning the following time. And that's a very serious threat on the political climate in France.
The far-right National Rally is down, but not out. It's now the third largest group in the Assembly. Its parliamentary leader, Marine Le Pen, could seek to capitalise on any political instability. Emmanuel Macron called the snap elections to provide clarification for France. The opposite happened. The French people showed what they are against, but not what they are for. The presidency is weakened, and months, perhaps longer, of unstable government lies ahead. Bernard Smith, Al Jazeera, Paris.
Armin Steinbach is an economist and professor of European law. He says Emmanuel Macron's challenge will be to form a government with alliances that support his economic policies.
Macron is one of the biggest losers of this election. He called the snap election in order to clarify the situation, in order to make sure that he has the support of the citizens. And the opposite has happened. The country is divided more than ever, with 1/3 for the left voting for the left, 1/3 for the center, 1/3 for the right. So there is no unity in the country, and he is confronted with a situation where he's suffering a loss of legitimacy himself. By September, he has to come up with a new budget for the budget 2025. And in order to pass this law, he needs to have a running government. So the more time passes by, the more it's going to be close for him. But certainly, on the other hand, the left parties, they are not a united group. They only came together in order to bar or to build a firewall against the right extreme party. And they are very frictionless in their own programs. On economic terms, there's a huge gap between what can be fiscally viable and what is demanded by the left bloc. And what is certainly not acceptable for Macron or for the centric bloc is an abolishment of this pension reform that he pushed through last year, which is, from an economic perspective, enormously important for sustainable public finances. And you need to consider as well that France is not in a comfortable situation from a fiscal policy perspective. France is heavily indebted. France runs a very high deficit, which brings it in violation of European Union fiscal rules, and it has to bring down this fiscal deficit. And with all these populist, expensive measures that the left propose, that is not reconcilable with these fiscal rules.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.